I know what stress can do to you, because stress is killing people, is that...
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Rabasha Family Podcast. Now, we have two very, very special guests here in the building, and I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. You guys can see here these lovely, beautiful African mothers sitting right next to me, and we're here for an insightful conversation. So we can start off with you. Introduce yourself.
Oh, yes, sure. My name is Wamboy. I am a health coach. I specialize on helping women balance their hormones. So, as some of you may know, hormones are very important, a very important part of us as humans, and especially us as women. And when your hormones are out of whack, out of balance, it can really cause a lot of havoc in your life. So I focus on helping women balance that so that we can live a healthy, fulfilling life.
Cool. And with your lovely attire today, I love it.
Yeah, all I can do today. So my name is Doreen Amwai. I'm a functional medicine health coach as well as a trauma therapist. So my focus is that I work with high achieving women, and I just help them shine a light on the stressors, whether it's internal or external, for them to understand, obviously, how it's impacting their lives so that it can help them thrive and not just survive. Because a lot of the women that I work with are sort of like in survival mode, but they're sort of like coping until they burn out and crash. So my job really is just to try and shine a light on all that stuff to help them just step into their power.
And quick question, how would you define a high achieving?
A high achieving woman really could be anything from the mother at home was like a fantastic homemaker, she's taking care of the kids, she's taking care of the husband. Everything is sort of like all taken care of, but maybe because of paying attention to everyone else, they sometimes can end up not paying attention to themselves. And the other end of the spectrum would be someone with a career, someone in the business, professional woman in the, business world, career world. So they might be achieving all these accolades. They have all these titles, they have like everything on the outside seems like they have everything in control. But what I realized from the women that I actually work with, they might look okay on the outside and no one could actually tell that, something's going wrong. But then when you actually go deep into the surface, you realize that they might be outstanding outside, but deep down they're completely disconnected from who they are as a person. What is it that makes them tick? Why is it that they keep giving and giving, but they don't seem to be able to want to take? Because for some people, that feels like, maybe I have to always be there for people. So there's so many different explanations why that happens. So my job really is to try and, first of all, help them become aware of it. Because a lot of people are not aware of it. Because if I talk to you and I tell you about all the stuff that you're doing, if you're not aware about it, I can't help you. But when you're aware of what's actually troubling you, the fact that you're not connected with your body, then we can start working on, okay, what areas can we start assisting you with?
Cool. Awesome. I love that. So, Wamboy, I want to start off with you. You guys, clearly what you're doing, you're targeting women, right? And it's very powerful. This is a collaboration and the spirit of collaboration and how, you guys can collaborate to empower the everyday woman or, your target audience, right? And who you're really trying to help. So you want to talk like, who are you as a mother? Like how many children you have? What's the background?
I've got 2 children. I've got an older girl and a very young boy. Married. Family life is very much at the front line of my life. So on top of that, I'm also a career woman, very driven, and so try to balance those 2, spaces of my life can be very challenging at times. And as Doreen said, it's very important to be in touch with your inner self, and to know when you can give and when you actually need to just be inwardly and take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. And because, women, we are the pillar of their home. So we need to take care of ourselves so that our feeling can continue to thrive. Yeah.
And Dora, you want to tell us about your background?
So my background is I've been a single woman for a long time, so a single parent. I have a 17-year-old boy that's going to be turning 18 in actually just a few months in December. So for most of my life, I've been driven. I mean, if anything, I think it's all I've really done. And I think it sort of came to a head for me when I realized that for most of my son's life, I have always been focused on his needs. I've always made sure that he's gone to school, he's gone to his practice, has his meals and everything. And then by the end of the day, I was pretty much, done for. But that was my life for so many years. But looking back now, and the only thing that started making me, I guess, realize that this is what I've been doing is because recently I realized that my son doesn't really need me. So my question was, what am I going to do with myself? What can I do to change this persona or version of myself that I was so used to of taking care of my son, making sure he has his needs, running a business? Because right now I am self-employed. I have my own coaching business. So the fact that I have this free time, if you could say, has enabled me to not only reflect on the things that I missed out, which caused me a lot of stress. I mean, there's a reason why I'm in the health industry. If there's one person who knows about stress, I probably have a PhD in stress, but I think my experiences has really helped me to be able to understand the high achieving woman, the woman who wants to try and be a perfectionist. By the way, being a perfectionist can actually be a trauma response, but that's obviously a topic for another day. But it's been able to help me understand, I guess, what we women who are trying to achieve so much go through, but also what we end up neglecting along the way because we're trying to prove something to either ourselves or the people around us that we can do it. But I'm now of the opinion that I no longer want to be a strong woman. I want to be able to ask for help, and I want to be able to connect and surround myself with women who are going to be able to assist me. Because for a long time, it's always been, no, I can do it. I don't need anyone else. But it doesn't really work. So, yeah.
That really deeply resonates with me. Just hearing you speak has almost made me tear up. Just because I know I've been that woman. I know I've been in extremely stressful situations at work, in the home, with friends, just really stressful situations. And people always tell me, one boy, you're such a strong woman, you're going to do it. If anyone's going to do it, it's you. And I continue to live up to that pillar of I'm a strong woman, I can do it. But I know how much it affects me. And I know, I know how, sometimes I wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm just like thinking about, all these problems that I need to resolve. And it took me a while to realize that I was actually a very stressed person. And I had very high cortisol levels. And because of that, it is affecting many other hormones within me. So, as you would know, cortisol, or stress hormone, is almost at the top. It's almost a hierarchy of a hormone. Like, I don't know, for me, I feel like oxytocin is right at the top because oxytocin can control cortisol. And then cortisol controls insulin. I mean, they all work together. However, cortisol controls insulin. And insulin controls, your sex hormones. And, with high cortisol, your insulin can be so out of whack and you can become insulin resistant. And it's a problem that a lot of us women experience, with high insulin. Because of high cortisol, high insulin, we start to pile on weight because cortisol can cause your estrogen to go out of whack, which is, of course, your fat storage hormone, and insulin, which, of course, also tells your body, hey, store the fat. And a lot of us women find ourselves in that really difficult position where we feel I'm not confident enough because, I don't feel attractive, I'm carrying all this weight around me. And that then continues to pile on the stress. And then, we go on to quick fixes like diets or things that don't work. So, that's what we're going to talk about. So here we're talking about a little bit.
Yeah, but that's true, because there's a lot of stuff outside right now, like on the internet, on Instagram, about cortisol. There's so much stuff. The cortisol this, cortisol that. So the thing is, cortisol is our stress hormone, right? And it is actually required. We do need some stress in our life to be able to function. And for example, if you're preparing for that exam, or you're preparing for that interview, preparing to, do something major, or, it is good to have a bit of stress. The problem that we have right now, for example, look at a woman, a woman who has a career, kids and everything. She wakes up in the morning, like you said, you're ruminating at 2 o'clock in the morning, already thinking about what it is that you want to do throughout the day. And by the time you wake up, you have to make your kids breakfast. So you then have to get yourself ready for work. Then you have to beat traffic to then get to work. You work for however many hours, 8 hours, then you do the same thing over and over again. So when you're always in go mode, and most people, I used to think, I was like, my God, I am such a temple woman. Like, if I was not working, I would be like, I need to get things done. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's come to a point in my life right now whereby stress for me is just not an option. And the thing that we want to really help women out there is that, because a lot of times when people want to become healthy, the first thing they think about is, I'm going to go on a diet, I'm going to go and exercise. Those are all good. But then the low-hanging fruit, there are so many of the things that you want to focus on. For example, your sleep. Your sleep affects your hormones, right? But the most important thing is when it comes to chronic stress. Chronic stress is where your body is just flooded with so much cortisol, you actually end up being on adrenaline mode. And the problem with that, exactly, yes, because when you're in stress mode, it means your body is in a fight or flight, a sort of like fight, flight, or freeze. Actually, now have something they call shutdown. Now, the issue that women out there don't realize is that if you want to lose weight, if you want to, maybe reduce stress, like if you really want to have a healthy body, it doesn't matter how much medication or supplements or exercise or food that you eat if you're stressed. Because when you're stressed, you're in a sympathetic state. Sympathetic pretty much means that you're in a fight or flight, freeze, or shutdown mode. When you're in that state, your body is it doesn't know there's no lion outside, but it's preparing you for a lion, because the signal that you're sending to your body is that there's a lion out there, I'm in danger, and it does everything it can. And the process of what that happens is that the energy is put to your muscles, your heart pumps better and all that stuff. But the issue down with that is that chronic stress shuts down your immune system. Because when you are stressed out, when your immune system is shut down, it means that your digestion is also compromised. So when you eat nourishing good foods, because your immune system is shut down and the gut is shut down, it means you can't really absorb the nutrients from this food that you're eating. So exactly. So I need to get you into a parasympathetic state. So parasympathetic just means you're the rest and digest. So your body's in a calm state. I need to give you tools to send a message to your body that everything's okay. Because if you're sending a message to your body that things are not okay, it's almost like you're telling yourself that I don't want to be here. And this is something that Bruce Lipton talks about. So Bruce Lipton says that when you're in stressed out mode, you're sending a signal to yourself that I don't want to be here. So something as simple as breathing, 5-5-5 breathing, just breathing in for 5, and then you hold, and then you release. What that does, it activates your vagus nerve, which then sends a message to your body saying that I'm okay. So for some people, I get them to do that breathing morning, lunchtime, afternoon, so that when you're settled, then you can start eating. Or maybe go and hug your partner.
Oxytocin. Yeah, get your oxytocin, because that then controls your cortisol. Like, in other words, your cortisol, your stress hormone.
Yes.
And a lot of times we don't even know we're stressed. We think, this is the normal. So you're running your life. You're too busy to even be aware of how stressed your body is. However, you start noticing that, oh, I'm putting on weight, or I've got brain fog, I'm not sleeping well, I'm tired all the time. What's wrong with me? And sometimes we even think, oh my goodness, I may be developing a serious condition, not knowing that it's the hormones that are wreaking havoc in your body. So it's really important to manage, or better still, eliminate that stress factor in your life. Next, once you eliminate that stress factor in your life, you can then go on to balancing your sugars. And when you balance your sugars, you'll automatically be able to balance your insulin. You become more insulin sensitive. When you're insulin sensitive, your estrogen will start to work itself out. And when your estrogen is balanced, it straight away balances your progesterone. So with women, we talk more. Well, I focus mostly on the main female hormones, which are estrogen, progesterone, insulin, cortisol, and thyroid hormones. And all of those can very much be balanced from, number one, managing, or better still, eliminating your stress factor so that you can balance your cortisol, and then your insulin, which is another hormone that helps to balance these other hormones.
Yeah. And I like when you talk about the stress, because when it comes to stress, a lot of people think that stress is just limited to argue with your boyfriend or your partner, or, having stress at work. Those also count, but stress can also be from the food that you eat. So we always say that food is information. So whatever you eat sends a message to your body on, okay, what am I doing with this food, right? Now, there's some foods whereby they can be stressful to your body. So the reason why we're doing this challenge really is really just to try and bring to awareness to the women that we're going to be working with, to understand and maybe even take a break from some of the foods that they might not be aware are actually stressing their body. Because first of all, if you're stressed out and your immune system is obviously compromised, what that means is that when you, it's going to get to a point whereby all that stress, okay, that's been, because there are some chemicals that are being released when you're stressed out. So when you're stressed out, because it affects your gut lining, okay, they call that the gut permeability. Actually, this is what a lot of people talk about, leaky gut. So leaky gut just means that there's a stressor on your gut lining, whereby it's come to a point whereby it's no longer as strong. They're not tight. There's some junctions. Yeah. So the tight junctions have loosened. And because normally the tight junctions are supposed to just open up, let whatever has to come in, and then close up. But when you're too stressed out, too many junctions could be open, and then you then start eating foods, and the food that's supposed to be good for you then ends up going into the wrong area. And then you end up starting to become sensitive to foods that are actually good for you.
And developing autoimmune conditions.
Exactly. And then it leads to autoimmune conditions. And that's why the reason why it's important to at least start eliminating or at least taking a break from some foods is that, you might not know which foods are inflammatory, because, look, chronic stress causes inflammation, right? So if we help you take you on a journey whereby you're able to take a break from some of the foods that you might enjoy, but you're just taking a break from them. You're not going to stop eating them forever. You just want to take a break from them to give your gut a bit of some time to heal, just to take a bit of a break, so that when you do introduce those foods, your body will tell you if it likes that food or not. And this is where what we're talking about with Mbui. You then start becoming connected with your body. What does connection with your body means? You're able to listen to your body. If I eat a certain food,
this is a reaction I get.
Going to get to that.
Yeah, it makes me feel.
Yeah.
So we're collaborating to bring to you a challenge. And this challenge is going to help you get that connection with your body. So we're going to take you on a journey where you discover, we'll educate you on inflammatory foods, we'll educate you on very much about cortisol and the stress aspect, we'll educate you about your hormones, and how your hormones behave, how they make you feel. And especially for us women during different time periods of the month, how, what hormone is ruling and what does that hormone want you to eat or behave or exercise, like there's all of these things, because you can think that, intermittent fasting, I'm exercising, I'm doing cardio, I'm doing all of these things. However, you're doing those things at the wrong time of the month. And what that is actually doing, it's doing the opposite of what you want to achieve. So if you, say, for example, doing cardio, a lot of cardio during a certain time of your month, it could be driving up your cortisol. It's stress, it's a stressor. And what that stressor does, then it affects your other hormones.
Yeah.
And you feel, so it keeps carrying on and you're thinking, but I'm exercising, but I'm eating well, but I'm doing all these things, but you're just not doing them at the right time. And it's affecting your body.
Yeah, and it's also about what to eat before you exercise. Because, if you're, for example, doing the time of the month whereby you actually need a lot more carbs or a lot more energy foods, what kind of exercise, for example, is going to help you that. But most importantly, this is not a diet, okay? A diet is something whereby you're going to go eat and you're going to be told, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat that, okay? The focus here is understanding why you eat the way you eat, because maybe when you're having a great day, you go to chocolate, or maybe when you're not having a great day, you go to chocolate. The answers that we're going to be providing here is, why do I opt for chocolate when I'm happy? Why do I opt for chocolate when I'm sad? So it's all about understanding the why. My philosophy, or rather my mantra is, I always want to know why. Why am I behaving the way I'm behaving? Why am I eating the way I'm eating? Why am I tired at 3 o'clock? How do I eat, in the morning to have a fantastic, energized day? How do I eat to influence my mood? Because the way you eat will actually have an impact on how your mental health is going to be. So all that ties into, there's the stress, there's the hormones, but most importantly, what is my body asking me? What does it want from me?
Correct.
Because once you answer that question, once you're aware of how your body operates and what it wants, the sky is the limit. And we're just going to be giving you a tiny piece of that.
Yeah. So this challenge is for women who high achieving is during defined high achieving. It could be a homemaker that has so many tasks that you have to deal with throughout your day, and you forget yourself and you're just feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you don't even realize you're overwhelmed. You could be a career woman who's so career driven, you hitting those goals, you have risen so high in your career. However, you just are not feeling like the best version of yourself. You could be an entrepreneur who's so busy, like building your business, and you've forgotten yourself. You could be a woman who is wanting to lose weight because you put on all this weight and you've tried everything, but things don't seem to be working for you. What is that connection? Is it your cortisol? Is it your stress? Is it your hormones that are imbalanced? You could be that woman. You could be a woman who is facing reproductive challenges, and it could be, is it the stress? Is it your hormones? Like, there's all these women who will fit the criteria to get into this challenge and gain a lot from this challenge. However, the most important is that you need to be ready to commit to your mindset needs to be right. You need to, it's not a quick fix. This is something we want to teach you that can be sustainable. It's a skill that we're teaching you. It's not a diet for a month. It's not that. We're teaching you skills. We're educating you on your hormones so that after all of this, you can go away and say, oh, I'm in tune with my body, as Doreen said. I didn't even realize I go for chocolate when da-da-da-da. Oh, whoa. I know I'm in the neutral phase of my cycle because I'm feeling such and such and such. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not sleeping so well. What's the problem? Get in tune with yourself. So those are the things that we'll be covering, and those are the women that we think will fit the challenge.
I wanted to touch on the stress aspect a little bit because it's so true. Like a lot of people, you're in that fight or flight mode. People going in that 20, 30, 40, 50 years of their life, and your body simply can't operate in that mode. And then it just comes back to the awareness, right? And, you know, like you said also about taking the breath, you know, anxiety and depression is thinking about the past, and anxiety is stressing over the future. But when you, like I said, take that deep breath, the present is where all the magic lies. Because there's nothing wrong with this present moment.
Brings you back to the present.
So how can we talk about stress, especially even, okay, you talk about the high achieving women, like as business owners, you have a lot more anxiety because, you know, you don't know when that next paycheck is coming. You could have a month that's really good. You can have a month that's really down. So how can we talk about now managing with that stress on a day-to-day basis, you know, with the challenge that you guys are coming up?
Yeah, so do you want to go first?
All right. What I would say is some elements of our lives we cannot eliminate. And as Doreen said, you need a stressor, like you need cortisol to be able to, you know, push you to that next level. So as an entrepreneur, if you're feeling stressed because, you know, you're anxious about your paycheck, whatever, maybe that's a good thing because it's actually going to help you put some actions in place so that you can actually then eliminate that stress. Because if your stress is, I don't know where my next paycheck is coming, then, you know, you work on your business and then boom, you have some clients and then boom, there's a paycheck. It's eliminated that stress. So I mean, stress is not always a bad thing. It's only when it's chronic, it's continuous, and you're not doing anything about it, that is what causes havoc in your body. Yeah. What would you?
Yeah, so for me, when it comes to stress, there's two ways I could probably explain this. So, for example, in a business, right? If you're trying to, you know, solve a problem, you know, you're trying to, I don't know, make some money, or you're trying to get a certain number of people to your business, right? There's always going to be that anxiety of, okay, am I spending too much money? Am I working with the right people? I think what I found has helped me, or at least has helped my clients, is that I get them to take a bit of a step back, and to be able to ask themselves, okay, so this is my goal that I'm obviously I'm trying to achieve. What is the best that I can do? I want to focus on what I can actually achieve. What can I do? The things that I can't, can I get someone else to obviously sort it out? Because if you're the kind of person who, for example, you're a perfectionist, you want to do everything, you're going to be stressed out because you don't trust that person to be able to do 100%. Okay. And I think there's a time I listened to Ariana Huffington. She's a bit of a perfectionist. She wants to do everything 100%. So it got to a point, the thing that worked for me is that I know I can do 100% on that project, but if I take it on, I'm going to be too stressed out. So how about I give it to that person? If they give it 60%, then that's fine. I need to be okay with it. I need to sit down and be okay with it so that I'm working my business or running my business in a way that I'm surrendering to the things that I can't control, but focusing on the things that I can't control, right? Because if I sit down and start stressing about what it is I can do or what I can't do, I'm going to end up ruminating, I'll be stressed out, and then I'll end up really not doing anything at all. So stress is good. You just need to be able to get to a point whereby you're like, I can do this, I'll focus on that, and then the rest will take care of itself.
Back to that awareness.
Back to that awareness. You want to be aware of what can I cope with, what can I deal with, what can I handle, and what can I give away to be fixed. Because at the end of the day, it's the meaning that you put towards things. You know, if something fails, if your meaning that you put towards that failure is that I'm not good enough, all those negative self-limiting beliefs, they're going to crush you. They're going to completely destroy. Your brain believes it, and your brain believes it, okay?
The story around it.
The story about it. So if I fail, I'd be like, okay, the question that I want to ask myself, and this is something that's taken a long time and I'm not really perfect, but the fact is that I'm aware. I try to ask myself, what can I learn from that? How can I do it differently next time? Because my main focus right now, like I said, because I know what stress can do to you, because stress is killing people, is that for me, I just try, if I can, not to have any kind of stress in my life if I can help it. But you want to get to a point whereby you're able to do it without thinking that, oh, I'm going to upset the other person. That's where people pleasing comes in. That's a trauma response as well, you know? So people pleasing, the thing that helped me a lot actually to get out of that state, not that I'm perfect as well, is that I think I read somewhere whereby people pleasing is a way of you manipulating other people to view you in a way that you want them to. So that for me was like, wait, hang on a minute, I'm a good human. I don't want to manipulate people, but that for me was like, okay, it was an aha moment. So now what I tend to do is that what I teach people as well is that I teach people to have boundaries. So for example, if I feel like your energy is not quite right, or I feel like being around you just gets my energy out of work, it's crazy, it's stressed out, I'm at a point in my life right now, and it's a bit of a big win, whereby I will love you and leave you, but I don't want to. I will probably tell you why this relationship is not going to work as a business person, as a friend, okay? But I'll tell you why, but don't take it the wrong way, because I'm going to say to you in love. But then you're creating a boundary whereby my space is to be protected no matter what, you know? But I try to help people get to that stage, and that stage could be the same as with food. We want to get you to a stage whereby when you go to a restaurant or you go to a party or you go to a birthday party for a friend, relative or whatever, you know, a lot of times they're like, oh, have this. Are you on a diet? No, I'm not a diet. I don't eat that. If I tell you I don't eat pizza or I don't eat whatever it is, it's easier for you to let it go as opposed to me saying, I don't know if I should eat that. I don't know if I eat the cake, I'm going to add weight, whatever. If I do that and you're a friend of mine, guess what you're going to do? You're going to try to convince me to have habits one day. But if I get you to a place whereby I'm like, I don't do that, it's like final. There's no, oh, I have to try. No, I've already told you I don't do that. So it's not even about if or but or what. So that is empowering to you.
Yeah. Sure. And it's very, sorry, Jared, you will go.
No, I was just going to say on the people-pleasing part, like I've struggled with that a lot of time in my life where because I'm so loving and genuine, like I'll go out of my way to, like you said, I'm thinking about, am I manipulating them to think that I'm a good person? But a lot of the times is people don't even love themselves. So if you don't have self-love, what makes you think that you're going to please someone else? And by me being a people pleaser, I was really not putting that love in myself. But like also now being a business owner and entrepreneur, I literally can't afford anything else. Like my mind is so focused. So I've gone out of that way of pleasing people because I can't afford it. I need to put 100% of my effort and energy into what I'm doing. So just real quick, do you have to even tell someone that you don't need to be in their lives, or do you just have peace with it in your mind?
Well, there's two ways to do that. Because if you're my business partner, right, and I just feel like this is really not working out, it's going to be respectful for me. Because as a people pleaser, a lot of things what we do is that we sort of
to upset people.
We just either disappear into the abyss, okay? But once you become empowered, you become aware, and you want to obviously do the right thing. Because loving yourself, by the way, is whereby you want to be able to say yes, but not saying no to yourself. So if it's a business person, for example, I'd be like, I sit down with you, tell you why this is not going to work. Obviously, make sure that I'm saying in a respectful way, and let you vent to whatever it is that you have to do. But I'll still be firm in the fact that we're not doing this. It was great working with you, but this is not going to help me out. We can still have a chat and everything if you want to, but if you don't want to, that's also fine. Then the opposite end of the spectrum is that if we just sort of like buddies, we hang around, whatever, and I know that seeing you or hanging around with you is not good for me, it'll probably just be hi bye, and there's really not much discussion. Like we'll have the pleasantries. There's some people whereby you're with them for a few minutes, and then there's some people whereby you can sit with them and actually have a tea. I choose not to have tea with that person because I know that our values or maybe the energy is sort of a bit disrupting for me.
And family?
Family as well. Yeah, you could do the same with family, but when it comes to family, you have to be careful in the sense that, first of all, you have to be able to speak your truth. If you have a supportive family, they will listen to you, be respectful, because a lot of times our families have their own traumas that they're dealing with, their own stress they're dealing with, but they're not aware. Okay, or maybe they're too proud to even acknowledge it because, growing up, as you know, as an African family, there's a lot of things our parents, in the past.
This is just how we do things.
It's just the way, just the rule, okay?
No discussion.
So when you get to a point of loving yourself and wanting the best for yourself, whereby you're trying to create your self-worth, because it's not going to be easy, it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be worth it. That's what I try to tell people.
It's going to be worth this burden.
Exactly.
And when you're always carrying that burden, it's just a stressor.
Very heavy.
So you have to, at some point, and a lot of us, never lift that burden because it's just too hard. But if you're true to yourself, deal with it. And as Doreen was saying, have that discussion in the most loving way that you can, but you're helping that person as well. Like if you're talking to someone about this is not working because of that, it's actually constructive. So it's not your responsibility. However, this other person can take that criticism, constructive criticism, and actually do something with it. So you've actually done something good for them. But it's not up to you to, then carry that burden. It's up to them. However, you've done your part by letting them know.
You want to see it with love here. Okay, you want to see it with love, whereby if I sit you down, mom, dad, sister, cousin, I really love you. You know that I love you so much. But the way you speak to me makes me feel a certain way. So I'm not pointing a finger at you. I'm telling you how your behavior is impacting me. So if I tell you, look, the next time you talk to me like this, I'm either going to walk out or I'm not going to come back, and you have to make a decision of how you want this relationship to proceed. Because I love you, I don't want to lose you, but I care about myself too much to allow myself to feel the way I'm feeling, And the same can be applied with food, for example. There's times whereby if you're a kind of person who's phoning, I call it the food phoning. You go to a restaurant and you're so panicky, you're so stressed out about what it is that you want to eat. Everyone else knows what they want to eat, and you end up choosing something that someone else has chosen because you don't want to upset the other guys in the table for waiting and everything. That can come deeply rooted from the fact whereby you grew up without having a voice. You grew up whereby your opinions are not really, valued or, but when you're aware about that.
So that's a piece of connecting where your trauma comes from.
Yeah, it's all about just understanding. And when you talk about food, there's a lot of reasons why people eat. There's a lot of reasons why people have emotional eating. A very quick summary of emotional eating, for example, could be, when a child was younger and every time they were naughty or whatever, maybe they want their mom to hear them, the mom would be like, if you don't sit down, I will not give you ice cream. So this kid knows that if I sit down, I'm going to have ice cream, right? If I'm a good girl, I'm going to have the cookie, which is maybe given once a week. But then as you grow up, because that I call this the stupid best friend. So when you were younger, the stupid best friend was good, made you adapt to the situation and everything. But as you get older, you need to understand that that best friend no longer is helping you. If anything, it's dragging you behind. So you want to get to a point whereby, there's something, for example, they had a hard day of work, they've done this and that. Maybe growing up, they were not allowed to have wine or whatever. But now, because they have the money, the way that I make myself feel happy after a long day of work is that I'll kick my feet up, maybe in a glass of wine, popcorn or some chips. But that's the way that they make themselves feel good. It's affecting them in some way.
I think I need to have a class with you about trauma.
Oh shit! You're very welcome. But yeah, so when you have wine at my habits, exactly, because when you have wine at night, guess what's going to happen? It's probably going to make you. Because there's some people who depend on wine to actually go to sleep.
However, it's not deep.
But you're not really going into REM sleep. You're not really sleeping at all. And the problem here is that when you don't get enough sleep, okay, it makes it hard because at night is when your body cleans up. The brain, people don't know this, but the brain has a lymphatic system. It just means that the brain shrinks at night to clean out the gunk and the stuff that it shouldn't be there. And then it becomes bigger to the normal shape. Like, let's say when you wake up in the morning, the problem is that if you're not getting enough sleep, it's almost like having a party and the trash has just been filled every single day. So every day, because you're not letting the workers for the night come at night to clean out the stuff. You're just getting the day workers to work. And if they're working too much, guess what's going to happen? They're going to quit. They're going to strike. And how do they strike? You have a heart attack. maybe have a kidney problem or insulin levels like she's talked about. Your insulin, just your practice is just, no, I can't do this. And you end up with, diabetes. Like this, it's sort of like a domino effect. Okay. So it's not just that one thing. It's all about it all just boils down to, who am I? Why do I do the things that I do? Why do I eat the way that I eat? Why do I show up the way that I show up with other people? Why do I behave the way I behave? Why do I say yes when I should say no? So it might seem like we're talking about food here, but we're just talking about bringing awareness, okay, to how you show up to the world. And because we have so many masks, I have no mask, I'm sure, that I'm aware of my masks. So we want to try and bring to the surface the masks that you have, and then help you understand, okay, which mask are we going to work on this week? Let's let go of that one. We don't need that one. Some people have so many masks, they no longer know who they are, and the way you're able to tackle anything, forget about food or stress or anything, is how do I want to feel? How do I want to show up? And then the stuff that we're going to be talking about is really just going to help you. Okay, this is how I step into my power, and I need to be aware of what it is that I want to achieve. That's really.
Wow, that was so powerful. Like I was listening to that stress piece and going, oh, I've got so much to learn about stress.
Yeah.
So Doreen, you are such a powerhouse, and I'm very excited to work with you on this challenge.
Like a truck.
Yeah. So yeah, we all have our powers. So so shall we break down what this challenge will look like? So it's going to be a 4-week challenge. The first week, and we'll talk about, education, bring awareness, talk about mindset, trying to fix that. Not fix it, sorry. Trying to work on make you aware of your mindset so that you can, do some work with that. The second week, we'll talk about nutrition, movement.
Yeah. So I guess just to, in a nutshell, it's really just, the summary is really just, the first week is about you trying to understand your behaviors. So we're going to be trying to incorporate, I guess, good habits, because when it comes to food, if I tell you what not to eat, you're probably going to head there. But what if I tell you the stuff to introduce? So it will be focusing on, okay, what are the stuff or the behaviors that you should be focusing on? What are the foods that you should be doing? And during that process, there will be some education. You'll have a handbook with information whereby, you'll be able to ask questions. So that's week 1. And then week 2, 3, and 4 is whereby we're focusing on eliminating the foods that are either inflammatory, are causing you stress, are disrupting your hormones. So this is where we're trying to just help the gut heal a little bit. But this is also a time whereby you're going to be doing a lot of intention setting, reflecting and trying to understand, or at least start connecting to how food is actually making you feel, why your behaviors are the way they are. And then obviously after that, we will teach you, or at least let you know, how you will be able to pay attention to the foods that you decide to introduce. Because the good thing here is that we're not going to tell you what foods not to ever have. Your body will be able to tell you, because if you've taken a break from X, Y, Z, for example, for 2 or 3 weeks, trust me that when you do actually introduce it back into your life,
a very clear message.
Your body will you'll either be having a headache or whatever, because you will be feeling great, over the 4 weeks. But because we're not going to be telling you what to do, when you eat a piece of candy or croissant, okay, we want you to pay attention to how did it make you feel? And then the way it made you feel, it's almost like you're capturing a memory of, it made me feel sick, made me give a headache and everything. You're going to make a decision based on how it made you feel. So that if you eat it in the future, you've made a decision knowing that this is how I'm going to feel. So you're prepared for that feeling. Yeah. So this is where you become empowered to at least make decisions for yourself. So there's going to be, I believe you can talk about the dates that we have the sessions.
Yeah, we're going to have some live sessions where we'll talk about, at the beginning of the week, we'll talk about what the week will look like. We'll talk about what we are looking to achieve for that week. We'll give you a workbook We will also give you some bonus recipes and some exercise routines to do. At the end of the week, we'll have another session, another night where we will talk about questions, how you're doing weight, any challenges. And we will be creating a community where we can all share our experiences, because in my own experience, I find nothing better than doing something together and sharing those, moments. It keeps us accountable.
Yeah. Bottom line is just a group of women want to have fun, want to connect. They're like-minded in the sense that they want to improve their health one way or another, and you will learn a lot whilst having fun and connecting with people and just meeting other people that you probably haven't met.
Exactly.
And then you'll be ready for Christmas. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of this session, we want you to be empowered to be able to be aware of, how your body feels after certain food choices, how your body feels, when your sleep routine is disrupted, or, when you're not, when you do certain behaviors. For example, if you don't see the sun in the morning, or you're watching TV until late in the evening, how does that affect you? Like, we just want to bring awareness to you about certain health choices. And once you experience these health and lifestyle choices, the changes that it will bring to your life, it'll be a no-brainer for you to make those changes. So we basically want to bring a challenge that will be life-changing for you. We're looking forward to making great health goals, meeting great health goals with you during this challenge. So we're really excited about it.
Yeah, and I guess most importantly, I just want to finish up with this, is that the challenge is not about completely, it's 4 weeks. There's only so much you can learn in 4 weeks, but in saying that, there'll be a lot of information that you're not aware of. So what it is going to evoke in you is curiosity. And I really believe that when you're curious, the sky is the limit for you. And that's really all we are aiming to achieve here. You will learn things that you haven't learned before. There'll be a lot of fun, of course, you know how it is when it comes to women. And just really be in a space whereby it'll be a safe space for you to just be yourself. You don't have to pretend.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. So link in the description, we'll put all your details below. You guys can get in touch. And how can they get in touch for the challenge?
We will share some information about the challenge on our social media channels. Okay. So just keep your eye out, and soon we'll have the information out.
Cool. Yeah, so we're going to be sending a form for you to obviously fill out the details, but there'll be some information that we'll be attaching shortly anyways for you to put your details in, your interest, and the dates will be, haven't decided the dates yet, but we'll share that information very soon. Yeah, so just show your interest. The dates will be announced very, very soon, and then we'll take it from there. But it's going to be exciting. You'll definitely learn so much more. I mean, the information that we have right now, we've tried to numb it down so you can imagine how much we can actually go through, in about 4 weeks' time. But most importantly, just know that it's all about you and just stepping into your power. That's really all it is.
Yeah, cool. Thank you guys, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
My name is Sujira Rabasha, the co-founder of the Rabasha Family Podcast. Now, I know you have a story to tell. I know you have a mission and vision that you obsess constantly about, and you're solving problems in the marketplace. So I want to sit down and get your story. I want to hear the real juice and authentic of who you are, because at the end of the day, people want to know about you. They care about you as a human being. So this is your chance to come on the Rabasha Family Podcast and be part of our Founder Series. We are hosting a Founder Series with entrepreneurs from all all over the world who had an imagination to create their business. We want to know you, the person, and how you're solving problems in the marketplace. So if you want to get in touch, fill out our quiz. Now, the quiz is a way for us to qualify you to see if you can come on the show. We can really see how powerful your brand is, where you are, so we can have you as an industry expert to come and tell your story. Business and life is all about communication. How can you tell stories, and how can I sit down and ask you questions that are going to get to your soul? See you soon.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.